All right, so we did a recent pod draft with a few people from the Discord, and we're just going to review a few of the decks that we and a couple of our buddies drafted. So we're going to start out, I guess, with this deck. So we're going to review the cards we're under consideration and just some initial thoughts, and then we'll kind of move through it. So I think the Getrog is a pretty straightforward pack one, pick one. Green should be able to play a multitude of colors. Green black will probably be a fine color pair in the set. This is just a straight up very good card. I mean, 6/5, trample haste for 5, with card advantage built into it. If this were not here, we are probably looking at either a Prairie Dog, nice 2-drop. 2s are a little tougher to come by. This is one of the better ones in the set. Lifelink can help with these crime lands, dealing damage, making us start, effectively 17, 18 life in many games. This doesn't have to be just a blue-white card. You can probably play it in any white color pair just because it gets on board. You can trade off, or you can use tricks, protect it, gain a lot of life. And then one of these black cards, probably the Unfortunate Accident, which ideally you're playing as a 3 black, destroy target creature, put a 1/1 mercenary token into play at instant speed, which is really strong, but it has buyouts of just make a 1/1 or 2 black, destroy creature at instant speed. Rictus Robber's probably the next best card. Ideally, you can plot this on 3, and then either trade off creatures or kill one of the creatures and play it as a 4/3 plus a 2/2. Or you can just play it post combat, on turn 4 potentially after trading off some creatures. Out of the commons, it's actually pretty good. We have Harper's Bandit, which I think is going to help green play other colors. Played some pre-release, played against the pre-release, really helps smooth draws. The Naturalist, again, 2 for 1, either your treasure or land, a 2/3 for 3 is fine. Or the Vault Plunder, which is a 2 for 1 creature that can probably trade off with the next 3, and you can draw a card, or you commit a crime with it. But I think we just take the Getrog, and we're hoping to be, green X. So with that in mind, we see a fine 2-drop in Ty Joaquin. We see what should be a pretty good 4-drop Cactus Vulture Shot. And then beyond that is kind of like a 2-drop Aaron, 2-drop Razzle Dazzle, Dance the Tumbleweeds, Raven. I think there's enough power in this, even though it's a gold card, and we took a gold card. We can still be green X. Maybe it's green red, splash the Getrog. Maybe it's green black, and we don't play this, but I think it's worth taking this early on. We do see a second Ty Joaquin, but we're not really close to that. So here it's probably either leading into black a little more with the Sunrise, leading into red with the Salvo, or just take green X with Ankle Biter. Now, I already have 2 creatures I'm happy to get back, particularly the Getrogs. I feel like maybe lean towards the Sunrise rather than one of these creatures. From here, we see we're not really in blue, but Jailbreak Seam I think will be pretty good. We see this Nezumi Linebreaker and this Vault Plunder. I think Vault Plunder is going to play better. Again, probably can trade up, replace itself with a card. Over Thunder Salvo, we're getting deeper into Black X. If we had taken Thunder Salvo here, I think we double down and take another Thunder Salvo here as well. But I think this card's only going to be okay outside of the blue-red archetype, where you can probably make this deal 3 or even 4 damage potentially. 2 mana, 2 damage, instant speed is not great. Anyway, could have taken Vault Plunderer here, but I feel like this Paladin is considerably better. Not considerably, but I feel like this is more of like a C+ type of card. This is more like a B- type of card in my opinion, just because Trample's good to get through mercenary tokens. It's nice to be able to plot it if you need to. And with the crime lands, I think just gaining life is really nice. So either one of these is probably reasonable over crime land. I guess maybe I could have taken this font, but we're not doing token things. We're not going to grind that hard, I think. So it's probably Paladin or Plunder. Here, not really much of interest. I think this line breaker is probably fine, but I'm happy to pick up a Grind Land here. This is probably going to be a good card, but I don't think we're close enough to that. This helps us either like a splashing green or black or just being in that color pair. Pick 9, really late Eartha Joe, but we're not close to that. So it's Consume Ashes versus Mourner's Surprise. We already have one of these. I think it's pretty good, but it's nice to get some, catch-all interaction. This is Exile also, so it can get around, take up the shield, for example. And there's a lot of mobs or creatures in the set, so I like Consuming Ashes here. Okay, we're approaching the wheel. Could have gotten cute taking the Mindslaver, but wasn't really feeling it. Felt like just getting a 2-drop in our colors where we need to be. It is interesting to see both these red cards that are, I think, going to be good. Like probably top 2 red common and top like 3 or 4 red common. Again, there's maybe a path where we start out Gitrog, and if we take the Tywakeen, I mean, we end up, but we're going to say Sure Shot into Thunder Salvo, and to probably bet the Paladin. We're looking more green-red here. We should probably take the land. Maybe we take the Eartha Joe to spec, and maybe we take the Derailment over the Varmint. But I like the 2-drop. Gets us on board. And then, wow, we wheel 2 good black cards. So we can take this. We're going to find stuff that dies and bring Hershing. And because we may be splashing, meet up with the Sentinel over kind of whatever cards. This hand's probably just a curve filler, but Surreal 2's nice. And we see a line breaker wheel, which is good just for curve reasons, and it dies into a meaningful creature. And whatever. I have to pick one. We are faced with a card we will not be able to cast. We're not really red, so it's probably passing the Sharpshooter. Only green card is this Grizzly. I don't think so. I like the Servant of the Singer though. Great if it's the speed. I mean, 1-3 Death Touch for 2. It's tough to get through that favorably. Maybe take up the shield, but other than that, and I guess there's the -1, -0, or -4, -0 blue combat trick. But just good card, and we may be able to just go find or get Rog if it comes down to it. Though it does kind of open up to knowing it's coming. So I think it's this over anything else, over the desert, over the Grizzly, these black cards. Okay, we see a Desert Stew, Desert, Last by the Law, Badland Survival. I think we have some good cards to bring back. And if we're looking to kind of grind a little bit, I think this is going to be worth it. We don't have anything that cycles yet. We don't have any like looting or cards like that, but I think this is still solid. You could convince me that Desert Stew is better. For cheaper action though. Here, we probably could have taken the Allo Alchemist, but I want to try and get some tricks in the deck. And I think Trash to the Team is probably as good. They can give us some velocity with the potential card draw, trample over, counters, the whole 9 yards. So I think this is a card that's probably going to play up in for skilled players. So I think this is a good one. If neither one of these were here, it's probably just this Naturalist. And then from here, could take Skullduggery, but I think this is a pretty easy beaver. Fill out a curve, 4/4 Vigi for 4. It's going to be really nice in this set. Take the Murder over the Century, just get some interaction, trying to balance our threats and answers. Take the Snakeskin Veil to protect some of our key creatures. One of those could even be, the Stance of the Tumbleweeds with the XX Elemental, just get a Forest into play to hold up your Snakeskin Veil. Another Consuming Ashes, we're looking pretty good on interaction. Curve's pretty solid. And I think this is the only green card in the pack, and it wheeled, so I think we just take it to... we already have one of these, already have one of those. Don't think we need to fake your own death with the protection and recursion we have, and this is just, kind of some curve filler stuff. Desert Steel Wheeling is just wild. Probably not going to play this. Might play the Skullduggery. Now, we're given a chance to either take this combo, which I think it's only going to be okay, and we want to splash for us to take this Intimidation campaign, which I think will be fine, but also want to splash, take the Bloodseeker or the Bandit. I like that we have some 4s, 5s worth ramping up to, so I like a Bandit here, or commit some crime, so we might be able to make some mana with this. But I could see the Bloodseeker potentially, or even like a Desert here. I timed out on this one, but I probably should have taken this Vadmir, because we're committing crimes, over this Servant and Stinger, but both are solid for us. Over like a Varmint crime land. Here. I don't know what this is about. I'm just going to assume it's not very good. But I'm going to take the 3-drop that gets us a land or gets us a treasure, can ramp us maybe. That's a solid one over murder. We're pretty good on interaction here. Got some 2-for-1s on some bodies. I don't think we can splash this with double red. How do you take this 2-drop that can help us with all the crimes we're going to be committing? And then this is a gift, that Chupacabra type card. 3 black, kill something, make a mercenary over, this Grizzly. That's a sideboard, Ankletter sideboard, Bloodseeker wheels, awesome. Sideboard for Conviction, also Frontier. Yeah, so we end up with a really solid deck that, like you cut the forest, you cut the blue card, cut a Fake Your Own Death. And yeah, we have a solid curve, good interaction, some protection. Down the curve, a bomb, a couple ways to find it, a way to recur it, a way to recur it. Yeah, seems good. Okay. Next draft. This is, let's check. Yeah. All right, so I think the best cards in this pack are between Aven Interrupter, which is just a great tempo play, flash it in, whatever spell they're trying to play. Ideally, it's like a combat trick or a counter spell, or just an expensive creature. Just leaves the stack, because exile, if they can cast it later, because it's plotted for them, if they can't cast it on that turn, it can be a potential, blowout right there with stopping, their counter, combat trick, creature, whatever, time walk them. I think this is worth it over Earth of Joe, but this is definitely splashable and probably as good, maybe a little stronger, depending on how you're playing. It's probably that of Earth of Joe. Both these white cards are great for interaction. I don't think we're going to wheel either one of them, but this can just kill something big and protect your card from a combat trick or something, a removal spell. So it's possible 2 or 3 for 1. And this is just a 2-mana Oblivion Ring. It's like, this is a seal pack. You're happy with all these, plus the Holy Cow. But also, Shoot the Sheriff kills probably, 60% of creatures. Consuming Ashes, fine to get that a little later. But I think we just take the single color card that's similar power level to these other ones. Okay, immediately put into another tough situation where we can say, okay, we're going to go white, green here maybe. The Griff, which I think is a little better than this Frontier Seeker. This is a single color. We don't know what our next color is going to be. So I think we take one of these cards over, a Derailment or a Vile Smasher. I landed on the Frontier Seeker, but we may find that this is just a silly good card, and we're supposed to take the Griff here majority of the time. Okay, more reward for being in white. Prairie Dog, pick 3 over, these 2 good black cards. And yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, don't have to pick a second color yet, but I think we're not going to take a Trained Erranx. We have, a Tai Joaquin here. Probably similar parallels. We also take the Erranx, but I feel like this has enough upside. It's not locking us into red. You can splash this, activate ability is just all, generic mana. And also, it's kind of cool to come up with like the crime lands. You play the crime land, deals 1, and then it's dealing non-combat damage to a player. So you can just, fireball them. Pretty good. So I think we take that. We're immediately rewarded with seeing another Tai Joaquin that I think we take over the Salvo or the white 2-drop. And now we're hoping to be white-red. We have a Sal or a Ride Down. I think it's probably worth trying the Ride Down here just because I'm not super sold on the Salvo. I don't know if it'll be great, but if we can be aggro enough, this can just kill a blocker and trample over damage. Here, I'm not really sold on this Nurturing Pixie. I don't think we have too many ETBs to pick up, and we could pick up our first pick, like pick up an Aven Interrupter and just hold that up. That could be pretty good, but or a Seeker. But overall, I think it's still fine to just take this crime land because we already have the 2 Taiwakeens, and we made a point to splash, something with white, something with green. We kind of get a whatever here. We could maybe take that to the Steer Clear to go with Taiwakeens, but I think just the 3-drop's fine. Then we find out we're probably in the right color when we wheel this Eartha Joe, and then we wheel a Derailment. Okay, and we're kind of off to the races here. 3-drop whatever, Alice Fury, fine. Security, fine. Okay, and then back to pick 1. Not a good pack for us. We end up with like a Thunder Salva over random 5-drops. It is what it is, but then we get past Bruce Tari, which is just going to be a really good card. I mean, comes in, draws you a card, and makes you Nox. So you're already getting, a 2 for 1 there. Well, it effectively draws your card. Like you get it, and then you can play it into your next turn. And this is over, what, like a Splash Miram or a Highway Robbery or like a Desert? Yeah, we'll take the gold card in our colors. Could convince me maybe it's Demonic Ruckus here, largely, but I think the Tether's just good interaction. We get a Crackle with power over a Train Eric's. This can just end the game. I don't think Boris is going to be super aggro where they're trying to kill you in like turn 5 or 6. I think they can say, we'll try and kill you in turn, 7, 8, 9. And this can just be 5 mana, 1 damage to 5 different targets, or 8 mana, 2 damage to, or sorry, 1 mana, and it's 5 damage to 1 target, or 2 mana. 10 damage to 2 targets. That's good. Okay. Could convince me to take the 2-drop here. I think I just want to make sure my mana's good and get the Prime Lane again because we have the double Taiwakeens. Grey Dog Gift at pick 6 over nothing. Vigilante. And now we're filling out our 2-drops, which is great for us. Highway Robbery is nice to use earlier or later in the game. I think the card is going to play well, not just in blue-red, but in just any red deck. You can plot it, you don't have to discard until the next turn, maybe. Random 3-drop, random 1-drop. Okay, and that's kind of it. And then we get Choice, and pack 3, pick 1. Scorching Shot, 5 damage, 2 mana. Sorcerer's Peep, still pretty good. Skewer the Critics. You can probably turn this one with like the Crime Lands and stuff, or a Prickly Pear. I think we're doing all right. We maybe need a little more interaction, so I'm fine with Scorching Shot here over the Prickly Pear. We get another Eartha Joe. Okay. And now it's feeling really good. So we have solid 4-drops. We're going to try and go hide. Make some creatures, pump up with mercenary tokens. Prickly Pear, make some creatures, pump up with mercenary tokens. That makes sense. You could convince me to actually take this Summoner here because we have mercenary tokens. We can pump it up itself via a 4-3. And you get your 3-1 Dino. This is solvable, I guess, but I'm not necessarily going to play it. Third Eartha Joe, I think we take over. Not much. Take the Crime Land over the Peddler. Take the Prickly Pear over the Crime Land. Fling, I think, can work well with all these mercenaries we have in with Eartha Joes. So what you can do is you can just, use Eartha Joe's trigger ability. When you use a mercenary, you could use it again. Can stack them up on creatures. And then just like fling that one big creature at their face. Pretty good. We wheel a Prickly Pear, which is just amazing. And the rest of these, and we wheel the Scale Storm Summoner. So the rest of these are kind of whatever, but we end up with a wonderful Boros deck. Like, we cut these two. I think we played the third, the white-green land, just because we have these Tawakins. Maybe take out a Ride Down. Not playing this. Probably take out both of these. And yeah, we just go wide, pump all our stuff, have good interaction, and that's it. Okay, and then last deck, this is the blue-black deck, we'll see. So we're given the choice. Pack one, pick one of Repulse, Metamorphic Blast, and then maybe like Ramblin' Roundup. But I think it's not really a choice. Or Snakes and Veil, but Repulse is just such a good card. You will splash it in your deck, you will play it in blue X stacks, like, so good. So very happy with the Repulse. I see that as a bomb. Here, we could have taken the Arthur Joe. We end up saying, let's try and stick with a monocolor card to try and increase the odds we can play this Repulse, and it's probably Getaway Glamour or Journey to Nowhere over these black cards. But these probably would have been fine. I think there's just enough upside with this Getaway Glamour. You could convince me Journey to Nowhere is a better card. After that, I want to keep playing the Repulse, so we end up with this Phantom Interference, but you could convince me to take like a Griff or one of these two, but I want to try and play this Repulse if I can. I think this is a power drop off from the Griff, and maybe Griff was the right call. It's a light card, but I think we're fine with that. And then here we see 3 good black cards. Take what's probably the most powerful one, Unfortunate Accident. And we're thinking maybe we're going to be kind of a removal pile, get some card advantage, and just try and play a more controlling game. And yeah, you can do that if we have a card like Raven of Fell Omens that lets us, drain 1, gain 1 when we're doing these crimes. Comes down on 2. You can maybe say this town ain't big enough, but I think the Raven makes sense here. Get some creatures. And then we do see a town ain't big enough here. I think it's probably going to be better than the Vault Buster, though this can just, probably attack those turns and have threat of activation playing a crime to become a 3/4. But I think we are happy with this one. We get some more interaction with the Jailbreak Scheme. We get a nice gift in this pick 8 Vault Plunder. So just card advantage is what we want. We want to be able to trade this off with under 3 or 4 drops and have drawn the card and just keep adding to the board or moving their board. You could maybe talk me into splashing this Wrangler the Dam, but I think just a 1-drop that can trade off is nice. More Surprise starts some card advantage. Copan, another Plunder, wow. And then Razzle Dazzle. Okay. At this point, we're looking ideally like a blue-black control deck. We're looking for some more power, some more card advantage. They just kind of take over the game. Siphon and Sight provides that. We're taking cards from their deck, not our deck, but it has flashback. It can kind of produce value, instant speed, so we can hold up our interaction and play this. This is really good. We're taking this over. Take the Fall and Skullduggery. I think that's fine. Okay, more instant speed interaction, and the Metamorphic Blast over an Archway, a Courtyard, Splash Tethers. I think it just lets us, again, keep pointing over mana, draw a card, so when we're one-for-one some, we're still getting our hand repleted. Ideally, we can just kill their creature. It's a 0 way to draw a couple cards. Seems good. Now here I'm taking this to facilitate a splash or just be a crime land Raven, draw another crime type cards. You could maybe convince me to take another crime land here, but I'm fine with just a 4-drop that can have lifelink to make it tougher to raise. We trade off on, or we block the mercenaries, and we choose to finish the other creature into turn. It's pretty good. Lone Shark, Consuming Ash. We're doing okay on interaction, so I'm going to try and get the card advantage. This is something we can help play on for if we've already plotted something, or plot it in a double spell the next turn. Again, it's either Jailbreak Scheme or more Surprise. I already have one Surprise and one Scheme, but I think these can play better because we can get a threat or two on board and play a Delver type style. We're just moving the creature out with this time up effect, 2 in a blue, top or bottom. Or we can put the +1/+1 counter, make it unblockable to push some damage. And it's a counter, so it's like good on a flyer, things like that. And then we have a choice between this Desert Stew, probably over Phantom Interference for the Desert. But I think the Thip is really interesting because we can bring it back. It's tougher to kill with the Ward too. And we have some cheap stuff that we could just plot, set up double spells, just help us catch up if we're falling behind on cards. So I think this is cute and kind of neat. This Desperado maybe come out of the board if we're in a more grinding matchup. We want to try and mill them out, but this kind of whatever. Great to see Take the Fall Wheel, nice interaction. Help us, block, eat a creature, draw a card. 4/4 that's has flash, so we can hold for mana, counter something, or card draw. Card flash, then have good blockers. 4/4 for 4 is good when you untap. This is a 2-drop. I think's good. That's kind of whatever. Alright, nice. Then we get a Crabby Daddy. Great blocker 05. If we just pass it around, we get to loot, which is what this deck is more than happy to do. So I think it's an easy candy grab over like a Desert Stew or one of these other cards. Nice. Then we get a Serve with the Stinger. Great defensive speed of 1/3 Death Touch. Combine some of our better cards. I think this is where we want to be over like this Newt or something else. Counter spell. I think we can potentially splash this because we're going to be drawing some cards. But I think it's just a good way to get card advantage later in the game. Look at the top two. Basically doing a sleight of hand. Only costs 1 to do that. 3/4 for 3 is fine even if it's color restrictive. We did take this over a crime land, which doesn't feel great, but yeah. And then we get this Intimidation Campaign. Okay. We're taking this over a Desperate Bloodseeker and a crime land, but this just helps our deck grind so much. Like, gain 1, drain 1, draw a card, we're going to commit crimes, come back to hand. Really nice. Okay, and then we see the Vadmir. We're committing crimes, solid 2-drop that can grow over like a Plan the Heist or a Geyser Drake. Murder for some interaction. Instant speed, I think, is useful. Another Jailbreak Scheme. Another Take the Fall. Sure area, whatever. Get the counter spell to wheel. Strix is good for looting with mana we don't use otherwise. And then we do get the Geyser Drake for all of our instants. So yeah, this turned into a really solid blue-black controlling deck. Take out the land, the boots, the line breaker. Probably fake your own death, maybe treasure, razzle dazzle. And yeah, we just have some card some interaction, some card advantage with the campaign, the plunders, the repulse, the siphon insight, loan shark, double fit. Yeah, a lot of good stuff here. So hopefully you found this helpful. These are all archetypes that I think will be good, really good in the set. And these are ways to draft it with real human competitive drafters. So yeah, I hope it helps and catch you next time.